Anybody in my class can give the rewards, and that includes the children.
I think everybody finds praise important. I know I do.
Ooh, the best reward is belief.
When a teacher looks at you and says you've done really well, I'm very pleased with that, that goes to your heart and to your soul. That stays with you.
Rewards and incentives are very necessary in a classroom to keep everyone happy, including the teachers. Teachers love rewards and incentives, children do as well.
Children love fairness, they understand fairness like adults, better than adults, and so a fair, consistent reward system, a way that they can expect from the adults that are looking after them, fairness is terribly important.
It can be difficult to be consistent, but it's so important. It's so important the children see that, you know, if somebody does that and it has an outcome, that's the same for everybody.
The reward system to have any impact in the classroom, it needs to be consistent. You need to explain to the children why they're getting a reward one day and they might not get one the next day. So the reasons for getting them need to be consistent on a day-to-day basis.
It's best to be consistent, whether it's positive or negative. I need to be always consistent and they need to know that.
The risk with golden time is that children who maybe shy away from social activities always spend their time colouring out drawings or pictures in a corner and aren't using that time maybe to develop those sort of social skills.
Golden time, I actually don't do it every week. I know some schools do. I do it when all the marble jar is full. I'm quite stingy with my marbles.
I do like golden time. It's a very child-led reward because you can see as a child if certain rewards don't motivate you, having your own free time to choose what you want to do seems to work for almost every child I've met because they're choosing what they want to do with their time and they can see the reward coming quite quickly as well.
You know, with certain children, a smile or a wink or, you know, a thumbs up, a quiet thumbs up, when it's not too public, is much more effective than verbal praise.
It really helps for me because this is my second year of teaching the same class and I really know the children.
You know, who would have thought that holding the football onto the playground would be a reward? But if you're 7, then holding the football as you walk onto the playground can be a reward.
Pick them out, make them stand in front of the class and say, look what Ross has done. Isn't this amazing? Ross, I am so proud of you. And you can just see them, they stand taller.
Some children just don't respond to certain awards. It might be that their parents don't engage at home with learning, so sending them home with an award to show mum and dad. If mum and dad aren't engaged by that, then that won't work.
Absolutely. And it really helps if you also speak to parents and know exactly what makes those children tick, in a sense.
I think sometimes to be told by somebody who doesn't know you that well is even that little bit more special because you're getting an opportunity for somebody outside of your little friendship circle within your working circle saying, well done, you know, well done. There's a pat on the back, keep it up.
Praise is not something that you can distribute willy-nilly and whoever, you know, good, great, well done, if it's not true. Praise only works if you really mean it, and the kids know that you really mean it. Same with adults, though.
You can almost feel their self-esteem rising. You know, it's tangible, you can feel it. So praise is everything.
I just say, well done, Sam. Then you soon realise that the whole class are doing what, you know, Sam is doing.
I think the greatest reward that you can give a child, especially in primary school, is praise.
Because they do love praise. And in 6 years of teaching, I realised that instead of saying, no, don't do that, and being negative, just saying one praise to a child and make an example of good behaviour, just automatically like switches the other children to do the same, because no one likes being told off.
If someone comes into my classroom and says, I really like your displays, you suddenly find yourself going, oh yeah, thanks, that's really nice. I mean, it's what we like to hear, someone saying that we're good.
Real praise, the connection of a human being with another human being, adult in this case with the child, is crucial. And when you look at a child and look into their eyes and tell them that you really are pleased with what they've done, children have an innate ability to understand that.
When someone that you look up to as a child, you know, you look up to your teacher, when they say, my goodness me, that is the best piece of work I have ever seen you do, that to them should be the biggest reward that they can get.
It's a specific human right. It's everybody's human right to receive praise.
In upper school, it's stickers. In lower school, it's stampers.
You know, busy counting them in their little exercise books.
I have a friend that worked in a pupil referral unit in South London, and he had tales of these 15, 16-year-old boys, girls that are in trouble with the police, and yet they'd still go through their books counting stickers that he would stick. There was 4 or 5 in a class, but they would still go through their books counting stickers. So I'm a big fan of stickers as well.
No, we don't give out stickers and badges, and it's not because we're mean, but we give out praise like you've never seen.
I actually just do this.
I find that I have to constantly change my reward systems, not only so the children are excited, but so I remember to give them out.
And they know. It's a thumbs up from me saying, well done, I recognise what you do, thank you.
I'd say in terms of the teacher, the best rewards are the ones that are very easy and quick to do.
We've got lots of pirate posters up, and you have to follow the class rules to be able to get a dip in the treasure box. We have a big gold sparkly treasure box.
We use effort points in the school, and children can collect those, and they can be given by teachers or other members of the staff.
Very simply, within the class, we have a star pupil of the day, which the children nominate as the day goes on.
You also give out the football pitch on a Friday afternoon to the class that has lined up the best that week in playtime.
Being the first in the line into the library, who would have thought that would be a reward? But it can get children to line up quietly, and equally, if you're not lined up quietly, they're last into the library. So I like those sort of rewards that are free and easy, and the children can see instant recognition for what they're doing.
Sanctions are terribly important too. But
Actually, it was the children that suggested that. They said, we should walk the plank if things go wrong.
I've got zero tolerance on 3 things within the school, and that's bullying, violence and swearing.
We have something called a hierarchy of repercussions.
we always say to a child, you we love without reservation. That behaviour is totally unacceptable.
Blue book, yeah, blue book. It's, to be honest, it sounds this really terrible thing. Oh my goodness me, I'm going to be in Mr. Wheatley's blue book. It's not. It's something, you have to have systems.
I actually have a separate system, so my reward system is not linked to my sort of sanctioning system, and I think that's quite important as well. One of the things they often ask me is, will you pluck our parrots? Will you take the feathers off us? Will you take our treasure away if we're naughty or we don't follow the rules? And I think it's really important not to do that. I think if a child has earned that reward for good behaviour, you can't take that away from them.
We don't say, you are now in detention. End of discussion. We give warnings, we give praise when they are doing what we want, and sometimes if you take a minute, but they can earn it back. Because otherwise, if you just give them a detention, they have no incentive to behave for the rest of the lesson.
The worst punishment you can give any human being is to look them straight in the eye and say, I'm disappointed.
To reward the whole class, yes, sometimes I do that.
I really like rewards where the rewards build up and they work together with other children, sort of like a team.
The whole atmosphere in the class is just so lovely because they're very pleased with each other and kind to each other, and I think it brings out the best side in them when it's not competitive.
A group of boys, for example, who absolutely love football, then you might sort of say, you might think about the end of the half term, if we can, if we can establish a certain ethos within our classroom and respect and manners and that kind of thing, then you might say, right, well, we'll try and get Arsenal to come in because we've got a link with that football team.
I call it family. I see it as extended family for them, and I go on a lot about extended family and how it's important that we all work together. And I've got that sense in there now that if there is one person or a couple of people not quite pulling the line or towing the line, the rest of them do pull that person up, and the rest of them will say, come on, come on, you can do better than this. Shh, come on, we've got to be listening at this, but let's get our heads down because we can do this at the end of the lesson if we do that. And that's about everybody taking ownership over what's going off in a class and having that ownership to say, right, we've all got a reward at the end of this, let's do our best.
I think it's important to have some aspects of it whole school. We do things like team points where every child that joins a school joins a team, and that's something that's consistent throughout all the year groups, and that's mainly for achievement in work. I think it's really important to be distinct about what reward system is for what, whether it's a behaviour reward system or whether it's a work and achievement reward system.
Our whole school policy, part of that is called the St Luke's Way, so it's treating people with respect, being fair with one another, certain basic rules of getting on well with one another and being able to work in a school in a positive manner.
For the whole school, yeah, we do have the head teacher's rewards, but they're basically based on looking at behaviour, looking at the social aspect, looking at things like manners, looking at things like friendships, and they're really important because we're striving for excellence then, because then it gives Chris, our head teacher, the opportunity to go and praise that child on a one-to-one basis.
If you create a culture of praise and reward within your school, it becomes a norm and an understanding.
With rewards that haven't worked.
Something that's too time consuming. I once tried handing out merits and then they recorded them in a book, and that was just far too time consuming and it didn't work that well.
With my class last year, I tried a timer where it started at 0 for the week, and every time something happened, I'd add a bit more time, and we would get that extra time on a Friday, playtime, similar to Golden Time, but sort of tamed down just for the class. And it was at the start of the year when they were only sort of 5, and they just couldn't see far enough ahead till Friday. So at the start of the week, there was no motivation to add time for Friday. By Thursday and Friday, yes, but it didn't work for me last year now.
A sticker reward chart, and it was a total nightmare because every time I wanted to give the child a sticker, I couldn't find where I'd put the stickers.
I actually can't think of one. They just respond well to all rewards.
No rewards are disastrous. I would quite categorically say that. Some people can say you can drown in rewards, but I'm not one of those people that would say that because I've only seen positivity through them. I'm all for as many rewards as you can throw at children. If a kid walks out to school and you can't see a school jumper because it's full of stickers, then brilliant.